This will be an introductory video to the course that I will be teaching the whole semester, the fall semester in Maltepe University, Department of Sociology in English. This is a department where the courses are taught in English. Now, this course that I will be teaching this semester is on contemporary sociological theorists. Contemporary sociological theorists that follow this course follow two other courses that are previously taught to these students. One is classical sociological theories, where founders of sociology, Marx, Weber, Durkheim, Kant, Simmel are being taught. In the second semester, this is continued. Parsons, Althusser, symbolic interactionists, phenomenological sociologists are discussed. And in this third semester, the contemporary sociologists continue from the previous one, and it prepares the ground for the fourth theory course, which is development of sociology in Turkey. Sociologists that contributed to development of sociology in Turkey. Now, this one is contemporary sociological theorists that are not covered already, or some are covered but shortly, but in this semester they will be covered in longer terms, broader framework. So as it was left there, this semester will begin with Bourdieu. And Bourdieu, as a contemporary sociologist, he was born in 1926, died in 2002. So really, although he is not living in 21st century, but he is considered one of the important theorists among the contemporary sociologists. And for me, I start with him because his approach is similar to mine in terms of both theory and method are combined. That is, he not only talks about concepts and theories, but also he develops them in the course of his fieldwork, his research in various topics, in his village, or in Kabyle, in Algeria, in North Africa, or urban poverty, whatever. The second one, in the second week, I will take up a living sociologist, philosopher, Habermas. Now, Habermas will follow Bourdieu because from the point of view of this course, he introduces something additional to Bourdieu's sociology. Now, I will consider Bourdieu's sociology a combination of micro and macro, but a middle level sociology. Whereas Habermas's macro is a more macro, and his micro is more micro than Bourdieu's micro. That is, life world, in which is borrowed by Habermas from phenomenological sociologists, is the family, the neighborhood, the village, the groups, small groups, life world, people where people live their lives. Whereas his macro structures, systems, he calls them, systems and life world, systems are economic system at the national level and at the global level, and political system or bureaucratic system, again at the national and at the global level. And then I continue with Bauman. Now, Bauman also complements Bourdieu and Habermas, because Bauman also somehow talks about the global, postmodern and modern in relationship to each other. And he also talks about the individualized society, how in 21st century, of course, starting the 20th century, how structures at the national level and political structures, welfare state structures are dissolved by globalization, by globalized capital, and how individual is made responsible with the development of neoliberalism. As Thatcher said, there is no society, there is individual. So Bauman brings this issue not only in terms of society-individual relationships and how this individual is being transformed, what types of positions he is pushed into, and also how at the global level there is a kind of indeterminacy of life, how individuals and groups and political structures at the local level, and even at the national level, are left to the mercy of global capital, global structures. And then I continue, and again, complementing these already important sociologists, Wallerstein. Now, Wallerstein also is both 20th century and 21st century sociologist, whom we lost very recently. And he talks about the world system. He's before actually theories of globalization in 1970s already, he was talking about the world system, how national societies, national states should be studied in terms of center and periphery, or center, semi-periphery and periphery. Although André Gondar Frank was talking about metropolis and periphery, or satellites, metropolis satellites, Wallerstein was talking about periphery, semi-periphery, and center. So I think the previous three Habermas, Bourdieu, and Bauman will be complemented with Wallerstein's approach to sociology, especially how his approach, the rise of world system analysis, rise and fall of world system analysis, because world system analysis is about the 500 years of capitalist world system from beginning to the present. But he says that the present world system is in the process of transition to a new system or world systems, hopefully a more egalitarian world system. Anyway, we will come and discuss this. So Wallerstein is, after Habermas, Bourdieu, Bauman, fourth sociologist. The next one is Eric Olin Wright. Again, we lost him this year. A sociologist who focuses on classes. Again, at the national level societies, a comparative class analysis, not only in his country, United States, but in Sweden, in other European countries, in Latin American countries, all these comparative study of class structures and their transformation, how from a 3-class structure to 6-class structure, 12 classes, how there are intermediate classes, and what are the new dimensions that differentiate people in the society. So Eric Olin Wright will be the 5th sociologist. Now that I will follow that with Giddens. Giddens's structuration theory, or duality of the concept of duality of structure, focuses on how agent, subject, and structure can be united in one concept, and duality of structure. Now, Bourdieu combines them in the concept of habitus, for example. Giddens combines them in the duality of structure. Now, it will be interesting to bring him into discussion, and especially his focus on different communication structures, expert structures, and other types of economic structures, expert structures, cultural structures, domination structures. Now, these are all different types of structures he focuses, and how they are related with the agent, where he conceptualizes agent as active and knowledgeable. Anyway, so that will be our 6th contemporary sociologist. And then I will continue with more recent ones, but also before I move into more recent ones, I will make a digression and go back to critical sociology, because critical sociology and the sociologists between critical theory, critical sociological theory, like Marcuse and Adorno, Horkheimer, Benjamin, and these sociologists prepare the ground for later sociologists, for example, Habermas. It was a focusing on a new phase of capitalism following 19th century Marxist focus on economic capital accumulation. Now, in 20th century, in 1930s, 40s, 50s, how culture industry and political structures, the study of political structures, came into focus. So I will be taking up in 1 week, in the same week, Marcuse and Adorno, but also there will be a relationship, a reference to other Benjamin or Horkheimer. The following week, I will be focusing on Lefebvre and Hall. Lefebvre and Hall. Lefebvre is a French sociologist that focuses on cities, how city structures are being transformed, how city space is being transformed by various agents, various actors, classes, political agents in the city. The construction of urban space and its transformation, Lefebvre is inevitable. And we have to take up as a contemporary sociologist of transformation of spaces, city spaces. Also, his focus on daily life, sociology of daily life. And for example, the moments that individuals, subjects live through in a moment, a liberation, a moment of enlightenment. We will come to that. But in the same week, I also focus on Hall, who's one of the founders of cultural analysis, of texts and establishment of actually an interdisciplinary field, cultural studies, the field of an interdisciplinary field of cultural studies. One of the founders is Hall. So I will take up Hall together with Lefebvre, one from France, the other from England. The next week, I will focus upon Luhmann and Beck, both from Germany. Now, these two sociologists are similar to Habermas in terms of systems analysis, and Parsons in terms, again, of systems approach, but they developed systems approach in new directions. Luhmann focused on autopoiesis, how systems, structures build themselves. How are they built by themselves, by as if a force is pulling them into direction of further and further development and complexity. Autopoiesis is an interesting concept. We will see that. And Beck, the focus is more on risk society. And that week, we will be focusing on this COVID-19 pandemic, how actually he developed a sociology of man-made crises, man-made risks. So it's not just natural disasters that are threatening human societies, like in first modernity. In second modernity, this is Beck's term for, instead of postmodernity, he uses second modernity. In second modernity, rather than natural disasters, man-made disasters, such as this crisis, this virus, this COVID-19 virus, and previous viruses, chicken virus, or any other man-made disasters. He focuses on that. The next week, I will be focusing on Deleuze-Guattari. Deleuze is a philosopher, but together with Guattari, a psychologist, they developed an approach to modern or postmodern societies that became a framework for research. For example, Negri and Hart, in their book Empire, they use Deleuze-Guattari, in addition to others, how a post-national global type of sovereignty emerged together with global capital, and how, anyway, that is Deleuze-Guattari approach allows, let's say, Hart and Negri, or Zizek or Laclau, others. So I think this combination is important. In the same week, I will be dealing with Lyotard, okay, focusing on postmodern condition. In the last week, and that will be 14th week, we will be focusing on Taylor, who is a sociologist dealing with religion, ethics, arguing with Habermas. Again, Taylor-Habermas debate will come into view. In the same week, I will be focusing on Said, the author of Orientalism, who is applying Foucault's approach into analyzing discourses of Orientalists studying Islamic world, Indian world, non-Western world, as a matter of fact, non-Western world. So this course will be a panorama of all these sociologists, all these contemporary sociologists. In this introductory video, perhaps lastly, I should introduce myself. Who am I teaching this course? I am Bahattin Akşit. Maybe I should have said this at the beginning. I had my bachelor degree in sociology in Middle East Technical University. And then I went to University of Chicago for graduate study, and I had my master's and PhD degree from University of Chicago. While I was an undergraduate student, I started doing research on villages, village transformations. And I published a book when I was a third-year sociology student in Middle East Technical University called Introduction of Underdeveloped Capitalism into villages, into Turkish villages. And then for my PhD thesis, I studied for my MA and PhD thesis towns like Kırıkkale, Keskin, Çorum, all various other towns. So I am a sociologist doing field work, and I continue to this day doing field work, teaching while I was in the Middle East, courses on usually social change, theories of social change, and how social change at all levels takes place. Now, when I came back, I retired from METÜ and came to Maltepe University sociology department in 2007. I started teaching theory courses. So instead of focusing on the theories of social change, now I focused on classical sociological theories, contemporary sociological theories, and more recent sociological theories, which I teach to PhD students in Maltepe University. We have a bachelor's program, an MA program, and a PhD program. So here I am teaching this course in English and there will be a parallel course in Turkish, which I will be teaching to sociology students in sociology department in Turkish, whereas this course I will be teaching to sociology students in English. So actually, I will be sharing these lectures and discussions in my YouTube channel. So those interested will be able to see the English version and Turkish version of a theory and a theorist. I hope it will be beneficial to people, to researchers who are doing sociological, anthropological research. Now they will be discovering structures that they are doing research already, structures that are already immersed, but with the sensitivity that these theories provide them. I hope they will be equipped with these theories and theorists' approaches to do a better understanding of the societies, the structures, social structures, political structures, cultural structures, ideological structures that they will be studying. Okay, now let me stop. Tabii ki. Thank you.